national TV celebrity on Let's Make a Deal. And introduce yourself. Say hi.
Yes, sir. Hello. Thanks for having me. My name is Kaz, the voice of the Lake Elsinore Storm, host of Monster Jam, ring announcer around the country and Mexico and Canada. So who really knows?
Well, I had the pleasure 5 years ago when I first moved out here, when I first moved to Lake Elsinore back in 2018. In that January, February, I was just checking the area out, driving around, and I would see the stadium. I said, I want to work there. So actually, I went in March when they had the open house and they were hiring people, and they said, "Well, what did you do back in?" So I was back in Philly. I used to work at the old Spectrum and Vet Stadium for Spectacguard and everything. And I realized what I did. I said, they want me there in the front gate. So that's how I ended up working there, and then meeting a lot of great people. My friend Tim, and then you, and there working there as the MC, not the public address announcer, but the MC. There's a difference, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think the MC is way more fun. The PA is just the guy that's like, now batting number 23, Fernando Tatis Jr. See, that's about it. But I'm the one in the stands interacting with the fans, shaking hands, kissing babies, playing games on the field, just getting to have all the fun.
Well, how did you get to, well, first of all, how old are you? I know you're tall. You're 6'7". But how did you
6'7" and
say
a
that
slice
you
of
wanted to
heaven.
do this? Yes, exactly. So how did you get yourself into wanting to be MC, public announcing, and then where you ended up in these last couple of years? So how did it all start, buddy?
Yeah, so I went to college for digital broadcasting, thinking I wanted to be an anchor, reporter, and then I graduated. The only places that were hiring were middle of nowhere, Nebraska, and I'm born and bred in Southern California with the most beautiful weather. Not so much right now, but every other day, yes. And I just couldn't move away. So I'm thinking, okay, what's my backup plan? What am I going to do now with my life? I was what was I, 25 at the time, sitting at home, and then my friend sends me a post that the Lake Elsinore Storm are hiring. So I'm like, yeah, I don't have any experience in baseball or really hosting, just anchoring and reporting. That's the only multimedia experience I have. So I'm like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So I show up to auditions. They have chairs lined up, and I'm the first one there. I'm nice and early. So nervous, so nervous. A few other people show up. It was a pretty small audition, pretty small turnout, but they had us like introduce the mascot. They had us host a game, hype up a crowd, and do a rally inning when nobody was there. And boy, was that awkward. And I wish it was being recorded, because I would love to go back and watch what I did in 2019. But 2 callback auditions later, I ended up getting the job. And I was just thinking about this when we were getting ready for this call, but I'd say maybe a day or two before opening day in 2019, I was talking with my mom, and I'm like, you know what? I don't think this is for me. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to go. And if it wasn't for my mom convincing me to show up on opening day, and I wouldn't have been where I am today.
Well, that's an interesting story, really. You didn't want to do, what'd you do?
Right.
Get, stage fright?
Oh yeah. Because I never had experience being in front of a crowd, let alone opening day is probably 5,000 people. I've never announced in front of 50 people at that point in time. So luckily, my mom convinced me. I showed up, and it's just been the greatest opportunity, and I've been having the time of my life since 2019.
So that was your first year, and that was my first year also. And it's just like, who knew that was your first year? Because actually, I was there from day one. You didn't come across like you were just learning as you go. It looked like you were a veteran at that point. I thought you were there for a couple of years. So, you're here first here on KARLS Korner. The cat was not going to do it.
No, man, I was literally about to throw up 5 minutes before the first pitch. So thank you
Really?
for saying
Well,
that.
it shows that we're all human, but God bless your mom, and look where you are now 5 years later. So look how it went. So for people who locally don't know who you are, because I have contacts back east, and people are going to take a look at this, but look how you
Watch my
progressed.
stuff. I'm gonna go get some balls.
Here we
real quick.
go.
Got him. Nice. I remember you. You got a sick shirt on right now. Oh, and cool shoes. You're rocking today. Thunder and Mini Thunder. All right. right, so who's throwing out the pitch today? And you guys will be throwing it to Thunder. So try to keep it under like 90 miles an hour. Okay, let's do it. Boom, boom. There it is. All right, I am ready and the teams are ready. For all the wonderful people in attendance here at the Diamond, and for everybody watching around the world on MILB TV, if you are ready for some baseball, let me hear ya! The Lake Elsinore Storm! 1, 2, 3! Let's get this game started. Modesto nuts.
Where they from?
Modesto.
Well, I have to ask, did Michael Buffer ever talk to you and say he took Michael Buffer's voice?
I've had a few comparisons, which is, I mean, the best compliment you can ever get. But, I've done a lot of research, and as long as I don't say, let's get ready to rumble, then I won't get sued. I don't want to get sued by Michael Buffer.
Oh, so that's the legalese of it. Then you just can't, because actually I think he trademarked that, didn't he?
Yeah, he trademarked let's get ready to rumble, and also, are you ready? So you can't do either of those.
Have you ever slipped and you were ready to say that and you just like caught yourself?
In my first year in 2019 for rally innings, I used to say, are you ready? And hype up the crowd. And then that's when somebody told me, hey, you might want to do a little research. If Michael Buffer ever sees this, might be some bad news. And but no, I stopped doing it right then. And I'm like, yeah, I'll find something else. So that's when I started saying, let me hear ya. Nobody says that.
No. So that first night, did you have anything prepared how you were going to do it, or did it just flow like we're doing this podcast right now?
Oh no, man, everything was scripted. I told, because I didn't know how much of the job was just flowing and riffing and making stuff up on the spot. And that's my favorite part now. But when they told me that I had to do that in 2019, I'm like, no, you got to write everything out for me. So I don't know if you remember, but if you saw me on opening day, I had a piece of paper that I was pretty much reading off of the entire night, whether it was hosting a game like this Dizzy Bat race is brought to you by Baskin Robbins, and yeah, stuff like that.
Well, actually, I was too busy taking tickets, at the front gate.
That's good.
So
you were doing your job.
It wasn't until after, the crowd was in, and maybe it was the second and third inning when we took our breaks because we were working so hard that we could go down and see some of the game and see what you were doing and saying hi. But yeah, it's funny how it all, worked and everything. And a dear friend who was a season ticket holder then, Michael Lopez, that actually, I think, you're friends with him, and he commented that we're going to be doing the podcast. And, kudos to him because he was such a nice guy. Always friendly conversations and all that. And you meet a lot of great people there, there. And I won't say why we're not there again. That's a whole nother story for another time we won't get into. But let's go back in again and just see how you really progress. This is like MC.
Now it's time. Stadium sing-off. Lake Elsinore, if you're having a good time tonight, give me an oh yeah. Go Storm.
Go Storm!
Good job. Get ready to sing. You're on butt cam right now. We only have one out. Hannah. Hannah, we gotta run. I need everybody to get up on your feet because it's time to sing America's favorite baseball song, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. I stay for the singing and we for the dancing. Get that kid doing the worm. Oh, you got Kaz is next. Oh, we just had a home run. Oh, I missed it. Yeah, let's do it. Nice. You guys are awesome.
Well, this just gives the people a flavor of the atmosphere of the stadium, and with you there, because I think you're the Velcro and because even there's some night, weekends they draw very well, but there's some of those nights during the week where there's just a few people there, but your spirit is still the same, no matter if there's 20 or full house.
Yep. I mean, it's true. You've seen it. Maybe on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, there's maybe 200 people there. Saturday, there could be 2,000 plus, 2,000 to 5,000. But I mean, I always think it's the same. These people paid money to come out, have a good night, and I just always think that if I can help them forget about the real world, put their phone down, just enjoy the time that they're at the stadium and forget any troubles, then I'm doing my job.
There we go. Starting the 2024 season, so obviously you're back, and it's what? Do a little promo for him. It's April the 5th is the first home game on the Friday night.
Yeah, April 5th is the first day for this is going to be our 30th season too, our 30th anniversary season. Storm started back in 1994. Now it's 2024. We won the championship in 2022, but now it's time we do it again because we're going to have a great team this year. We had a great team in 2022. A couple of those guys we just found out today, like Jackson Merrill, he's going to be part of the opening are part of the starting lineup for Padres opening day. So that's the quickest turnaround that I've seen from being on the Lake Elsinore Storm in 2022 to being on the Padres starting lineup 2 years later.
Well, you just took my next comment that some people who are not familiar with the team, like what division are they in? And obviously they're an affiliate of the San Diego Padres, but they're what? Is it they're single A or double A?
Yeah, we are. The Lake Elsinore Storm is single A. So there's a few different stops you have to make. There's single A, high A, double A, triple A, and then the Padres. So pretty much the Storm is where you start, aside from spring training, but Storm is just the starting point. So that's what I was saying with Jackson Merrill. For somebody to make a leap from single A all the way to the Padres in 2 years, that's unheard of.
Well, what position he plays? Because obviously he's just a name to me. But what is he? What position does he play in and all that? Give us a little bit of background on him.
Yeah, he's going to be playing center field. He'll be hanging out right next to Fernando Tatis Jr. Feet away from Manny. What's his name? All those famous Padres guys. I only know the Storm.
Well, that's good. So this is now going to be your 5th season. Obviously, the year of COVID 2020, they shut everything down. There was no season, correct?
Technically no baseball season, but we still did so much. So I always count that as kind of a season. 2019, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I count this as my 6th season because during COVID year, we did over 100 drive-in events, whether that be drive-in concerts, drive-in movies, drive-in karaoke. We did over 100 events that year. So it was actually more intense than a baseball season. So I definitely count it.
Well, that's interesting because, yeah, I do remember all the signs if you drive by the stadium, the little ones out there for the drive-ins. They used the parking lot that had to be, spaced 10, 12 feet apart for the drive-in. So they were being very creative, especially during COVID, to have some kind of form of entertainment. So then that leads me to your interest in expanding out of the Lake Elsinore Storm. So what got you, who did you talk to, or where did that all come from? What was it first? Was it the monster truck or Monster Jam or the wrestling?
COVID really all started it all because when we didn't have that baseball season, I'm like, oh man, if baseball can be taken away this quick, then I better have some backup plans. So that's when in 2020, I just started, we were talking about this before the podcast started. I just started reaching out to literally everybody. I sent so many Instagram messages on my phone and so many emails. People probably got so annoyed from me trying to become a ring announcer. I've always been a wrestling fan, a fight fan, like UFC, WWE, PFL, anything like that. I've always been a huge fight fan. So I'm like, okay, if I can use my voice in baseball, why can't I use my voice in other sports like fighting? So I started reaching out to all those people. Somebody finally gave me a shot, and my first opportunity for ring announcing ever was MMA down in Mexico. So it was a little sketchy, but I'm like, hey, an opportunity is an opportunity. So I went down to Mexico, stayed in this sketchy hotel. The event was in like this crazy rundown boys and girls club, room, auditorium. But it was a blast. And then that's really taken off. And then Monster Jam started in 2021. So again, I'm like, okay, ring announcing's going well. What else am I a fan of that I can use my voice for? I remember my parents always used to take me to Monster Jam when I was a kid. I stayed up to date on that. I'm like, well, they have announcers, so why can't I do that? So again, I reached out to them, sent them some videos, sent them a couple messages. I'm like, hey, any chance you guys are hiring? So they said, yeah, actually, we're holding auditions in a couple weeks. So I went, I auditioned, and it's been a blast ever since. And the highlight of my Monster Jam career was really just a couple months ago. I was down at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego and got to announce 2 nights for Monster Jam and for a total of, I think it was 46,000 people. And it was a blast.
Well, I actually have to go back to, you actually have it online that I think I found it, that your application, your video application for ring announcing. And I have to say, you know, it's persistence that gets, and I have to commend you for it, but I'm going to actually show this now and how unique. Now, I'm wondering if anybody just maybe just sent them an email with paper, but you actually sent them this clip. So I'm going to just.
Hi, WWE Universe. My name is Kaz. I'm looking to become your newest ring announcer, and this is my application. Throughout this video, I'm going to show you why I'm the perfect candidate for your next ring announcer. For the past 2 years, I've been announcing for the Lake Elsinore Storm in front of thousands and thousands of baseball fans. Introducing first, from Lake Elsinore, California, he's the lovable big green dog, Thunder! Well, until quarantine started. It doesn't matter though, because I've managed to still find a way to work on my craft. If you're excited to watch The Notebook, give me a hell yeah! So if you look at my resume, I have plenty of experience announcing in front of a crowd. I've been a lifelong fan of WWE, and I would love to work with and learn from great announcers such as Alicia Taylor, Mike Rome, Greg Hamilton, and Tom Phillips. But to be completely honest, I will do anything to grab that brass ring and work my way up to being a ring announcer for the WWE. And I mean anything. I can announce a kid's birthday. He's the newest 8-year-old on the block. Make some noise for little Johnny!
Thanks, Kaz.
I can also be a problem solver, just like this. And that is why Cactus Jack would beat Mankind if Tori Wilson was a special guest referee. I'm also willing to mop under the ring. Well, maybe not. This would not be just another job for me. This is my passion, and this is my obsession. I love how WWE is all about respect, inclusion, empowerment, and excellence. All I ask is for a chance, and I promise to you that I will not disappoint. As the great Triple H once said, are you ready?
I think they really were ready and blown away by that video, because I know I was. And I'm just curious about who you were competing against, and I'm sure they didn't have a clue. So kudos to you, buddy.
Thank you, man. You know, the ultimate goal is still to make it to WWE, but it's things like that. It's you got to stand out from a crowd, be unique, and work your way up to grabbing that brass ring. I haven't watched that video since 2021 when it was made, and I feel like even my voice sounded younger. It's like I have a deeper voice now. I didn't even know that was possible.
It's deep.
You're right.
It's gravelly now. It's deeper now. Well, I do have to say, we had a little storm. We're having maybe not technical difficulties, but a little bit with the internet. That's why. But this meeting is wonderful when the internet's working great. But if you have a little glitch, we apologize for that. But we're still going. You're still there. You're good, right, guys?
Oh yeah, I'm still good. If I cut out at all, just let me know.
Yeah,
and
now
I'll
my
repeat it.
question is, now, did Thunder actually hit you with that chair?
Yes, he did, and we took multiple takes of that too. And I mean, he was having the time of his life because we have to work together every day. So, I mean, Thunder was having a blast. I was not.
Well, yeah, I could see. Now, I don't know. I think with there's actually a video at the Storm when they actually had wrestling, and you were actually in a ring, and they actually gave you a pile driver.
Yeah, they suplexed me pretty good because so this one of my favorite things to do at the stadium, aside from announcing, is I get to book all the promotional events, all those scheduling, and being a massive wrestling fan, of course, I'm going to make a wrestling night. That's my favorite night every year. So that was our third year working with them. This video that you're about to see probably, and I'm like, hey man, is there any way I can get involved? And they're like, yeah, sure. And that's all they told me. That was it. So I'm like, okay, I'm in. Just surprise me.
Well, for some reason it won't. I can't pull it up today, and it won't download for me. But and maybe, guys, this is not a one-stop thing. Hopefully, you come back and maybe we could do an opening day or everything for the storm. But if we could pull it up in another time and show it to you. But that's actual commitment to be involved. Now, were you heard it all with that, or
Yeah, man. They do not mess around right there. I mean, just if anybody's interested, head on over to my Instagram. It's Kaz, Kaz, period, Egan, Egan. That's where you're going to be able to check out that video of me getting body slammed. But yeah, he walks up to me, kicks me right in the gut, throws me in the ring. And I'm at first I was like playing along, like, okay, whoa, hey, don't hurt me too much. But then I'm 6'7", I weigh 230 pounds. This guy picks me up like I'm a feather and slams me and kicks me out of the ring.
I remember back why I got the job, because I worked at the Spectrum back in the day. I remember when once a month, Spectrum Wrestling with the WWE back then, with all the big names back then, and you would be able to be behind the scene, and they'd be talking about where they're all going to go for dinner afterwards, and then they get mad and they go in the ring, and it's interesting. It was really fun watching wrestling from a different vantage point. But then, so you did that, and then you ended up getting into, let's see, the Monster Jam from that.
Yeah. So I started just ring announcing for anybody that would take me in 2020. And then Monster Jam, I got into that in 2021. And I've been able to travel all over America, Canada, and we'll see what's next. But I'm always excited. You never know where they're going to send you.
That's a great picture right there. Now, were you on TV there, or was that just what was that picture from? Is that Arizona?
Yeah, that's in Glendale, Arizona, State Farm Stadium, I believe. That was my first Monster Jam event ever, too. What a way to start, man. I was nervous for that. Going from, I finally got a little bit used to announcing in front of at most 5,000 people at the Lake Elsinore Diamond, and then jumping right into this 40,000 people in one night. It's a big jump, but that's when I learned at a certain point, from like, I'd say 3,000 and up, doesn't really matter how many people are there. It's just all a blur anyway. This is where I've learned, the less people that there are, that's the more nervous I am now.
Well, that has to be an exciting thing. And obviously, being a professional, it gets you into a different category. Because I remember when I first talked to you, because I got in solar, maybe get involved with some other things, and you were in real estate, correct? So obviously this has afforded you that you don't have to do real estate anymore, correct?
No. Luckily, with the Lake Elsinore Storm full time, I get to do Monster Jam maybe once, twice a month, ring announcing maybe 2-3 times a month. So it's I'm very fortunate that I'm literally getting paid to talk to people.
Well, literally, let's see. This is your real
Albany, New York. Welcome to Monster Jam Trackside. I'm your host Kaz alongside Sinquel, and today here at MVP Arena, 8 Monster Jam superstars compete to be crowned the overall event champion as we continue down the road to Monster Jam World Finals 22.
If you are ready for an incredible night of fights, let me hear you! Making their way to the cage, out of the blue corner, Jared Turner. Officially weighing in at 149.8 pounds and fighting out of San Diego, California.
Well, actually, for some reason, the glitch to try to play that, and it's not internal. It's actually with everything out there. But I think they got a bit about how between the Monster Jam, and let's see if this will go back on.
Albany, New York, welcome to Monster Jam Trackside. I'm your host Kaz alongside Sinquel, and today here at MVP Arena, 8 Monster Jam superstars compete.
Nah, we'll go. I'm sure they got an idea, but I'm sure it's a lot of fun in that regard that you were able to, be there and like as a spectator back when you were younger to actually being involved with it, it's a completely different venue. And when you see the actual people and meet them, it must be amazing.
Oh yeah, especially when it comes to Monster Jam. I mean, there's the only one that I haven't been able to meet yet that I'm still dying to meet. I've been with Monster Jam 3 years now. Dennis Anderson, the original driver of Gravedigger, the guy that created Gravedigger. I've gotten to meet all his kids who are now drivers, but I haven't met Dennis Anderson yet. I've met Tom Mentz, Todd LeDuc, all the awesome guys that I used to watch back in the day from when I was a kid. Dennis Anderson is still on my list, though.
There are names that obviously I don't know that much about, but I'm sure in that whole community, they're the superstars of that time. And I have some other pictures that I pulled out there, and I think some of them were as far as bringing it. Who is this and where is this?
Yeah, this is Dan Henderson. This is at Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center. Dan Henderson's Athletic Fitness Center right down the road in Temecula. And man, that dude is a UFC legend. He's a legend in MMA community, really. And I'd say once every couple months, he has Hendo's Fight Night. And I get to ring announce / commentate at his events. And he is just the absolute coolest dude in the world.
And where is this? It doesn't seem like there's many people there. It's a little bit more black out there, but where is this from?
No, yeah, this is where was this? This is somewhere in Los Angeles. It's shooting up, but there's probably maybe 500 people in the crowd back there. They're all on the floor, and this was probably one of my, I don't know, second or third time ring announcing. So my hand, if it was a video, it'd be shaking in that video.
And it's probably a little bit wet too from all the perspiration, you're sweating, right?
Oh yeah. And not only that, it's the people's blood because you're sitting ringside, so you got to watch out.
So now is this down in San Diego?
Yeah, this was the most recent event. This is the highlight of my Monster Jam career thus far. This is at a Snapdragon Stadium. It was either in January or February, but I mean, there was no better way to start off 2024. Getting to announce one of my favorite sports, Monster Jam, in my home city. It was the honor.
So your home city is San Diego then, not up here.
I mean, I like to say city, but more like county. I'm born and raised in Fallbrook, California, which is North San Diego County. So but if
like
anybody ever asks where I'm from.
Yeah, it's halfway between here and San Diego then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I actually like this one. This one is, I'm not sure, is this at the Storm or just is it a different event?
Yeah. This is the 4th of July game at the Lake Elsinore Storm game. And I guess you could tell that by my shirt and headband. But what are we doing right here? Oh, we're singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game right now. So we got a bunch of kids on the dugout with me singing all the words. And then right after the 7th inning stretch happens, I jump off the dugout. You probably saw it in one of the first or second videos you were showing. And that's when we have the biggest dance party in all of Lake Elsinore. But I can't dance. I mean, if you're 6'7", I got a voice, but I cannot dance. So I run out of there. I tell everybody to stand up and dance, but not me.
And there you on top of the dugout doing your thing.
Oh yeah. It's my favorite part is interacting with the fans. You get to announce, you get to host the games and stuff, but it's the stuff behind the scenes really of just interacting with the fans, talking to them. You hear a lot of stories about how they've graduated on this field or they've been coming since 1994. This is my first Storm game. So my favorite part about working with Lake Elsinore Storm is, talking with the fans.
Well, I use this one. Were you actually just sitting there as a publicity shoot, or you actually did travel somewhere on that jet?
No, yeah. This is the owner of the Lake Elsinore Storm. This is his jet, and this was in 2022 when we were in the championship for the Cal League Championship for MILB, and we were flying up to who are we playing? The Grizzlies, I believe. So we flew up there and in his private jet, and that's another highlight. This job brings some crazy opportunities, but this one was up there, literally.
So aren't you glad 5 years ago your mother told you to better do it, or you would have never been on that jet?
I tell her that at least, I don't know, once a month, that I could have had such a different life. I was thinking about becoming a police officer because that's what my dad has done. He actually just retired, and you know, I could have been doing that. I could have been, I don't know. At one point, I would thought, okay, what's my backup plan? Maybe being a mailman. That sounds kind of fun. But you know, I, I, I'm just the luckiest guy in the world. I thank my mom and dad every day to allow me. I get paid to do what I love. It's a blessing, and I'm extremely fortunate.
Well, I have to use my dad's passed in almost 7 or 8 years now, and I have to say he always would say, "The harder you work, the luckier you get," and I think that really
That's
comes
right.
through because I don't, you can't do what you do as a slout and just fake it. You have to be real, what you are. You're a real person. I have to say, I could say before you really become national and well known, and I figure say, hey, I had Kaz on my podcast well before he got to the national. Well, because it's funny, you talked about Michael Buffer. Now, back about 10
Oh
years
yeah.
ago, I was executive car service. I was driving in the Philadelphia, South Jersey, New York area, and there was a big, I think it was MMA in Atlantic City, and I actually had Michael Buffer's brother in my car.
Oh, Bruce
I forget
Buffer.
his first name. Bruce. I
Yeah, Bruce
drove
Buffer.
Bruce. So that's the closest I ever got to any kind of celebrity in any of that kind of field. But it was an interesting conversation for the hour from the Philadelphia airport down to Atlantic City about all that. And every once in a while, I will see something. I'll go over to CJ's on the Saturday, and we'll have the matches, and I'll see him say, "I know that guy. I knew that guy through for whatever." So yeah, I think it's fantastic what you've done. So what's okay now? The 2024 season for the Storm. What besides the Storm do you have coming up in the next couple months, next year? What do you look at? Are there any, TV shows, movies, or
Yep.
anything like that you're going to be doing?
You know, I'm always applying to be on reality TV shows. I've gotten close a couple times, but I mean, it's all about knocking on doors. It's not only who knows you, who you know, but the biggest part is who likes you. That's the biggest thing. So you got to keep making connections. I would love to one day be on a reality TV show. I mean, that sounds like a blast. Uh, Nothing's impossible. I know how cliche that sounds, but I mean, I've talked with people that I thought I would never talk to. I've flown in a private jet. I'm hanging out with Dan Henderson, who I literally used to play UFC video games, and he was one of my characters that I played as, and now I'm looking at his book right now that he signed for me. So you never know what's going to happen, and I'm just enjoying the ride that I've been on since 2019, and I'm just hoping that it keeps going up.
So you won't have any of the wrestling or monster jams in the coming months? You have anything in the schedule on that, or is that still pending?
No, yeah, every month. Like my next one will be when is it? This coming Saturday, I'll be up in LA for Fearless Boxing Promotion. So if anybody wants to come check it out, I mean, this is going to be the inaugural event for Fearless Boxing Promotions down in Los Angeles at the Loom Color Center in Ontario, I believe, actually. And it's going to be a blast. We
So
got a
actually,
couple heavyweights.
So you won't be at the
What was
Storm
that?
this Saturday. Oh no, I'm thinking it's still baseball season yet. It's still March. I'm ahead of myself. So will that any of those
Oh
other
yeah,
events
no.
conflict with the Storm?
Every once in a while, but I've gotten pretty lucky sometimes. I'm only missing now at this point maybe 5 games out of the season, but there's 66 games, and we got a lot of awesome people that work at the stadium too. So I'm very fortunate.
So also now you work there full time, and you say, what else you mostly community relations, trying to get other events and other things there that they're trying to get. Is there anything else that's being promoted for the Storm Stadium for this coming season? I remember when I worked Memorial Weekend, there was a fantastic concert there, and then they had that retro there that packed the place that they didn't even have enough parking for it. That was an amazing event that I actually worked. So is there anything like
Oh,
that
nice.
coming to this local area?
Yeah, we have a ton of great events coming up. Micromania is our biggest event every year at the stadium. And if you guys haven't been to Micromania, if you haven't heard of Micromania, I don't want to give too much away. Just YouTube it, Google it, and then come check it out at the stadium because you are going to have the time of your life. It's an absolute blast. It's our biggest producing event that we have every year, and it's coming up pretty soon. And I'm a wrestling fan, so I love it. But yep, we have tons of events every month, probably every other week. When there's not baseball season, we're still going to be having concerts, comedy shows. Our restaurant just opened, the Diamond Tap Room. They do concerts there every week. So something's always going on at the stadium.
So besides the MC, so when you're in the office, what is your primary goals at the stadium for the team?
Well, we all have to sell. All of us, our goal is to sell. So whether that be, getting groups out for just a group outing or a picnic, or selling the banners that you see on the outfield, or the sponsorships for Dizzy Bat. I got so many awesome sponsors coming up. And one of my favorite things to sell first is the inning break games that we get to do, because I create all those, and I'm part of Team Creative as well. So we create all the promotional days, the giveaways, the theme nights, everything that you see, the run of show, everything that you see is just myself, John Gripe, and Justin Picard. So come out and I'll introduce you to you guys.
Well, it's funny. My background from 20, 30 years ago, besides working the part-time at the stadium, was in advertising and sales and marketing.
Nice.
That's when print and direct mail were king. And so I understand that when you're out there talking to the community and have a good product to sell, because you're really not selling anything. You already have a product that they know. And that's the one thing, is like, you're not selling, you have a product that, they could like and be a part of, it's, you're not selling, it's a great way to do things. And in one sense, I do miss the action back in the day, but, I'm kind of at my goal. But I think maybe with this new format as podcasting, maybe we could get a sponsor or something to get it continued. But hey, if there's anything else you want to discuss, we're at 38 minutes, maybe another couple more, but anything else you want to mention? Or maybe something I forgot?
It's been an absolute blast. If anybody wants to check out more about what I'm doing, just follow me on Instagram. It's Kaz.Egan. You can check out more of my work on YouTube, Kaz Egan. It's easy to find me. Come to a Storm game. Come say hi. Tell me that you came from KARLS Korner, and we'll get you throwing out the first pitch. Well,
one thing I forgot to do with the little banner on the bottom, because once we're on Facebook and YouTube, if you like it, please like and subscribe and comment, because that's the only way we're going to get any other notoriety. So the only thing I ask for this, guys, you get on my YouTube page and subscribe to my YouTube page, because I already subscribed to yours. But
there you go.
Yeah,
I got you. I'll do it right after this.
Yeah, I think this was a blast. And the only thing I will mention, that the way this is set up, once we do go off, don't leave yet, because it has to download 100% until we be able to, put it up on our platforms. But yeah, I think it was a blast having you on here. And as you called me what, Saturday or Sunday?
Yeah, 2 days ago.
Yeah, and I figured, oh yeah, you called me. What's today? You forget what the day it is. No, you called me Saturday.
Yeah,
I want to do this.
Saturday.
I'm like, yeah, definitely, we're going to do this. I appreciate it. So maybe we could do something on opening day. I just looked at my schedule. I actually have to be somewhere at 5:00 on the 5th, that Friday. But if we want to do something, if we could do something maybe at the restaurant that overlooks the field, maybe we could do a little pregame, little something. If it's up to you, if you think you could work it out in your schedule, we could do that. And I would still love to have you come back another time. I don't want this to be a one and done. And if anything new that comes up, if you want a platform, please, I'm here for you, buddy.
You're awesome. Thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. It was great to reconnect with you. And it's the first time I've really seen you since 2019.
Yeah, remember we stopped in with Tim and my other buddy that we worked in 2019. We actually went in for a game last year, and we said hi. And that was the last time I was at a stadium in a couple of years. So hopefully I won't be a stranger this coming year. So on that note, Kaz, I want to thank you so much for being here. Hopefully some people, and I will put it on your platforms probably within the next couple of hours. I think everything went pretty well. Just a little technical glitches, but other than that, hopefully have him back, and we'll talk to you soon on the next time on KARLS Korner.